as someone who graduated from an Ivy League, who worked at the schools that are, essentially feeders for Ivy Leagues, what advice would you give to parents, of elementary school students? We're speaking about young children still, who really want to set up their child for an Ivy League education without this, as we discussed, without the fear of failure, with creating
Right.
that learner mindset.
Right. I go back to knowing your child. If you know your child's strengths, emotional strengths, strengths of interest, cognitive strengths, you can begin to put together a path for that child to acquire the necessary skills that he or she will need to be able to perform. I use that word pointedly, perform academically. And that process goes again back to being able to see your child for who they are rather than who you'd like them to be. And also follow them. There's Maria Montessori was the person who said, follow the child. And everybody interpreted that 40 years ago as watch them run across the field and think that means they're going to go to Yale. Doesn't work that way. But it does mean that if you see that your child is interested in a particular direction, you want to promote that so that they learn, are able to understand the value of excellence. Like you said earlier, the value of hard work, the skill sets that are necessary to have the achievement that they need so that they will have the choices to go to whatever school they go to. Having said that, I don't know how many times in my career and my careers I have said, there are a whole lot of really good schools that are not in the Ivy League. Stanford comes to mind, but that's another one that could be. On the other hand, there are many, if my child is a small school person, I was a small school person. And that was partly because I was in a small school for 12 years and I wasn't ready to go to Duke or I wasn't ready to go to Berkeley. It would have been too big for me emotionally. I needed to be in a smaller environment. That might rule out an Ivy League school for some kids. Some students know by the time they're in high school that they really want a technological career. And I think the reintroduction of vocational kinds of programs is a very positive thing for education in that way. So again, it goes back to know your child, then be able to follow them while making sure that they get what they need to be able to manifest those interests and experiences and passions.
No, I loved it. I mean, it's when you said follow the child, but it's not follow the child, into cartoon watching or
or video games.
or video games. It's
yet
really
to figure out exactly, because I do not understand video games, I will honestly admit. I have yet to figure out exactly what the value is. I'm working on understanding.
Some say there's a value. Some say there's a value.
I know they do. I'm working on it. I'm open.
Thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying this interview, and I'll be continuing this interview in the next video. So make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it.